What's up, Bone? Lots to talk about today. Welcome back to your show.
Well, it's good to be back on the show, man. I like this new setup here. I think Chris did a good job here. I like it.
You like that, like the houndstooth, the faint houndstooth.
Yeah,
I like your name in bold crimson.
that's right.
One guy's name we're not going to see in bold crimson anymore, at least in the present tense, is Bill O'Brien. He's back to the NFL. We've been talking about this for months. Maybe the worst kept secret in sports, but he's going to work for the Patriots as their, I guess, offensive coordinator, and he's done at Alabama 2 years as the OC.
Yeah, obviously the news broke early this morning, and I think it kind of broke before I even got out of bed this morning. Usually my kid wakes me up around 6:30, but he slept in a little later. I woke up. First thing I saw was the Bill O'Brien news. So, it worked out good for both sides. I mean, I think Bill O'Brien was wanting to go back to the NFL. Perfect situation with him. Reconnecting with Belichick up in New England. Mac Jones probably a little excited today that he's getting a real offensive coordinator in there, and obviously on the Alabama side of things, you know how Alabama fans feel. I think Bill probably got a lot of flack, that probably undeserving. I think he did everything that he could, try to have success in Tuscaloosa. Obviously, went to the national championship in his first year. I put this on the board the other day. I mean, Alabama's offense scored 41 points against that vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC title game. Obviously, it didn't work out in the national championship. And then you go into the to this season, or this past season, these high expectations, and things didn't work out. So everybody tried to cast blame on one or two people, and now those two people are elsewhere. So I think it worked. I don't want to spend much time on it, but I think it worked out well for both sides. Best of luck to Bill O'Brien. I think that he's a smart guy. I think he's a smart coach. And I think he's going to enjoy being back in the NFL. It's probably more. I don't know if there's more pressure on an NFL offensive coordinator or more pressure on a college coordinator, but man, he certainly had a lot of pressure on him over the last few years. So we'll see how he does in New England. But the biggest question is who's going to be that next offense coordinator in Tuscaloosa, and I don't know who it's going to be. I know that Coach Saban has likely been vetting guys, hoping that he can make the right decision here, because this is going to be the most important decision as far two very important decisions: defense coordinator, offensive coordinator. Because this is probably going to be Saban's last big hires before he rides off into the sunset. Maybe not. Maybe you get a guy in here that might stay a year, maybe two, and then you hire somebody else. But as of right now, this is going to be obviously two very, very critical hires for Alabama moving forward. You just signed the highest rated recruiting class in the Nick Saban era. You've got all these top guys coming in. Of course, you also have you're going to have to replace your quarterback. Who's going to be that quarterback, and are you going to bring in the right guy to teach these guys throughout the spring, throughout the summer, and developing these guys to be the best player they can possibly be? I mean, Bryce Young was not the starting quarterback when Bill O'Brien was named the offensive coordinator at Alabama, and we've seen the development. And the Heisman Trophy winner. We've seen all the success that Bryce has had, and obviously a lot of that's talent, but a lot of that's also coaching and development and sitting in the film room with Bill O'Brien. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't even care about, that people don't even pay attention to, they don't even think about. All they see is what happens on Saturdays. And they don't care about anything else. It's all about Saturday afternoon and the performance that's put on the field. They don't really pay much attention to all the long hours that are spent at the football complex or in the film room, on the field with these players, and trying to develop them to be the best possible players that they can be. And I think that gets lost in the shuffle a good bit. So I know Bill O'Brien did everything he could to have success at Alabama and to, lead a successful program, on the offensive side of the ball. Did a lot better than a lot of people would. And,
Right.
just because he didn't finish with a, top 2, top 3 offense the last 2 years, finished, I think it was 7-11 in the country in total offense. I mean, it's not the absolute best, not the absolute worst, not even close. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be that next OC hire at Alabama. Can they be better than Bill O'Brien? Can they be better than some of these other offensive coordinators that have come through? I mean, there are high expectations at Alabama every
Oh,
single
yeah.
and, and a lot of that has to comes from the success of the previous coordinators in Tuscaloosa. I mean, Pete Golding, you're replacing Kirby Smart. You look at the offensive coordinators, Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, Mike Locksley, Brian Daboll. A lot of a lot of really good coordinators on both sides of the ball for Alabama in this last decade, and you're hoping that you can go out and find the right guy. But at the same time, it's kind of difficult because anybody that has success at Alabama at a coordinator position, they're going to have opportunities. So are you going to get a guy in there that comes in, coaches for a year, and then, boom, all of a sudden they're a head coach somewhere else? And most of the time we don't see, with not Bill O'Brien, but with Pete Golding, you don't normally see a coordinator come into Tuscaloosa and then leave to take another coordinator position somewhere else, at least at the college level. We might see it at the professional level, not at the college level. So we saw that this year. So I don't really think that Alabama's going to go out and hire somebody that's going to come in as an OC or a DC for a year, maybe 2, and then all of a sudden they're OC or DC somewhere else. Those guys are looking for head coaching positions. And I always say this, like a wide receivers coach or a running backs coach, if you have an offensive line coach, they're looking to be, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are looking to be a coordinator somewhere. They're hoping to get that coordinator position, run the defense, run the offense. So just like coordinators are hoping that they can prove enough to be a head coach here in the next, couple years. So it'll be an interesting hire for Alabama, whoever they decide to go after, whoever they end up hiring to replace those 2 coaches. So these are going to be 2 very critical hires. And obviously, Coach Saban also wants to hire some guys that are pretty good recruiters as well. So that's always going to be the name of the game. Bill O'Brien wasn't necessarily, going out there and, targeting 50 guys every single recruiting class, but he was going after the quarterbacks. He ended up helping Alabama sign Ty Simpson. He helped Alabama sign Eli Holstein, Dylan Lonergan, Julian Sang committing to Alabama. I talked to Julian Sang. Julian was named the MVP of the Battle Miami 7-on-7 tournament this past weekend. And I talked to Julian, when he committed, 2 months ago, and he really talked highly about Bill O'Brien. And he said, he was pretty much under the impression that Bill O'Brien was not going to be the offense coordinator at Alabama. Some fans may see that as, oh, well, that's why he committed to Alabama. And that's not the reason he committed to Alabama. One of the main reasons he committed to Alabama is because of the time that he spent with Bill O'Brien and sitting down in the film room with him. He traveled to Tuscaloosa back, I guess it was back sometime in November, sat down with the coaches on Saturday, but spent the entire day Sunday with Bill O'Brien at the football complex, he and his family, and really built a strong connection with him. But Bill O'Brien told him, he said, don't commit to Alabama because of me. Commit to Alabama because this is the best program in the country that can develop you on and off the field. And, he respected that. So got to give credit to Bill O'Brien there because he was able to help Alabama, secure the quarterbacks here for the future, whether that was Ty Simpson, Eli Holstein, Lonergan, or Julian Sang. So did a great job there. So we'll see who's going to be that next offensive and defensive coordinator in T-Town.
Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson. Thank you very much for watching this video. Check out our other related content right here on Bama Insider. Be sure and like and subscribe, inching closer to 100,000 subscribers right here on Bama Insider.